Welcome to the Abstract Blood Type Wellness Podcast, where the right play meets purpose and flavor finds faith.
Blood type balance, mind, body, whole. Feed your spirit, that's the ultimate goal. We season for life, body.
Greetings and welcome back to the Abstract Blood Type Wellness Podcast. I am your host, AC Price, certified wellness nutrition coach and educator and founder of the AC Art of Food. And when I tell you I'm so glad you're here for today, episode 20, the sleep-cortisol loop, why you're tired yet wired, and the food connection it holds. Now, if you've ever laid down exhausted and still could not sleep, or maybe you woke up at around, that 3 a.m. bewitching hour with your mind racing, today's episode is going to explain exactly what is happening, and the connection between that experience and your cortisol is direct, biological, and completely flexible. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to dig into the science behind the simplicity. Now, the National Institutes of Health confirms that cortisol and sleep operate on opposing rhythms. Now, cortisol is designed to be high in the morning and low at night. And melatonin is the inverse of that. Okay. So when cortisol stays chronically elevated, as I've stated before, it directly suppresses that melatonin. And then your body can't shift into sleep mode because it is still reading the environment as a threat. So here's the loop. What the National Institutes of Health is also confirming is that even one night of poor sleep can elevate the next day's cortisol. So less sleep means higher cortisol. Higher cortisol means worse sleep, and then tired and wired every single day. So breaking it requires working both sides at once. Your blood type is your guide for wherever you start. Okay. So it's like a cycle. It's a loop that you repetitively go and find yourself in. So here's the educational core of it. Now, what you eat and when you eat it directly influences the cortisol to melatonin handoff every night. So large evening meals are going to spike your blood sugar, and that's going to disrupt the shift into sleep. And caffeine in the afternoon is also going to keep cortisol artificially elevated at bedtime. So alcohol, how it's often used as like a wind down tool when you had a hard day, at work or with the kids or something. It's give me a glass of wine, popcorn, hey, call it a night. However, that alcohol actually raises your cortisol within 90 minutes and fragments the second half of your sleep. So on the flip side, magnesium-rich foods at dinner are going to support the nervous system's shift towards rest. And a moderate serving of complex carbohydrates at the evening meal is going to help lower cortisol by supporting those melatonin synthesis. Okay. So what you eat for dinner actually does matter as much as what you eat for breakfast. And inside the 14-day culinary cortisol reset at acrfood.com, yep, selfless plug, both are built by blood type. Now let's get into that blood type personalization. For my blood type O's, there is going to be some powerful adrenal responses, meaning that the tired yet wired experience is going to hit you hard. So vigorous morning movements is going to metabolize the day's cortisol before it can actually accumulate into the night. So magnesium-rich dark leafy greens are going to calm your nervous system. And so we also want to avoid those heavy grain-based evening meals, okay? So holy basil tea is going to be a great sip for your evening wind down. Moving to my type A's, this is the most vulnerable blood type and in the sleep cortisol loop as well, because an elevated baseline is going to mean that the nervous system is very rarely reaching the deep calm that sleep requires. So light, plan forward evening meals, finished 2 hours before bed. Okay, I'm a little guilty of going past that, but neither here nor there. Chamomile or valerian tea is going to be a non-negotiable. It's going to be an incredibly great soothing sip for your bedtime preparation. And of course, screens off 1 hour before bedtime. For type A's is going to be the hormonal medicine, okay, that our body needs, not a suggestion, okay? So then my type B's, that when they're sleeping, their sleep disruption is coming oftentimes from blood sugar volatility and not anxiety. So impulse evening snacking, especially on chicken, corn, refined carbs, those no-nos, that's going to create the overnight spike that is going to fragment your sleep. So a balanced protein-containing dinner that is going to be finished 2 hours before bed. Notice that pattern, okay? Followed by like a Rubio's tea, a nice fruity Rubio's tea. That's going to be delicious. It's going to keep my type B's cortisol rhythm steady throughout the night. And for my type A Bs who absorb stress deeply and struggle to transition from day into evening genuine rest, okay? So light early dinners are going to be essential for you. The AB's digestive system is going to keep that cortisol elevated when processing heavy meals late. So a consistent pre-sleep ritual at the same time every night, herbal tea, gentle stretching, dim lighting, all of that together is going to train the AB's nervous system to recognize the sleep signal and then respond accordingly. Yes. Okay. So the lifestyle and ritual integration. So these are going to be 3 rituals to break that loop, okay, of that extended high cortisol in the evening times when you're trying to relax and wind down for a good restful sleep. So the 12 p.m. caffeine cutoff, that's across the board. No caffeine afternoon this week. Try that, okay? Replace it with your blood type adjacent herbal tea. So within 3 to 5 days, your natural evening cortisol decline begins to restore. All right. Then I want us to look at the 2-hour kitchen close. Yeah. Across all blood types. Stop eating 2 hours before bed every night. Okay. Now this is going to stabilize overnight blood sugar and it's going to prevent the cortisol pulses that fragment your sleep. That's going to help you to sleep restful because your body is not going through the rigmarole of trying to process and digest everything that you just ate 5 minutes before you decided to go to bed. Okay. Then my number 3, the non-negotiable wind down. 20 minutes, your warm shower, herbal tea, dim lights, no screens. Okay. I know some people like to take their showers in the morning. That's fine. Then just do the herbal tea, the dim lights, no screens, and make sure you get your bedroom at around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That is going to be a nice cooling temperature to make sure that you're not overheated. That is going to maintain a good restful sleep as well. Same sequence, same time every night. Okay, try these things because your nervous system is going to learn to associate this ritual with release and your cortisol is going to respond. All right. My favorite part of the podcast, the great eats. Yes. So this is going to be lunch edition. And a balanced blood type aligned midday meal is going to stabilize your afternoon blood sugar. And it's also going to prevent the cortisol spike that's going to kick in, the tired yet wired cycle into motion. So this is going to be simple yet powerful. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Let's start with our ABs first, okay? ABs, your pan-seared wild salmon over millet, some steamed snap peas and zucchini, sliced cucumber, cultured yogurt with dill and tahini, and some warm lemon ginger tea. My type Bs, grab you some of that sliced roasted turkey or lamb over steamed jasmine rice, some collards, a little bit of olive oil and garlic, saute them. You don't have to steep them in the pot all day long. Just some nice sauteed collard greens till tender, okay? And then roasted beets with parsley and some plain Greek yogurt because that's going to help with your gut microbiome, okay? And maybe even a little crumbled of some sheep's milk feta. And then my type A's, pan-seared tempeh over some steamed rice, and tempeh is just that fermented tofu, and then roasted broccoli and zucchini, baby spinach with miso ginger dressing or tahini dressing. I've become very fond of the tahini dressing that I make at home. I'll have to add that recipe to maybe a podcast in the future. And some toasted pumpkin seeds and warm green tea. That's going to be great. And then for my type O's, let's try some grilled wild-caught salmon or grass-fed beef, antibiotic-free, and some roasted sweet potatoes, sauteed spinach and kale with garlic, a little extra virgin olive oil to finish. maybe even some shredded red cabbage you can throw into that saute with a squeeze of lemon and some sea salt. And the beauty about these meals is that they're consistent, right? So if you listen to the podcast, you'll see that these are pretty much the mainstays. And these are like different ways that you can zhuzh them up just based on what your blood type is. And to get that information and more about what foods are specifically medicinal and harmful to your body based on the blood type wellness package, based on your blood type wellness, I would definitely advise you to visit acrtofood.com, our website, to dig a little bit deeper. You can even subscribe to the site, and right there on the site, as soon as you pull it up, you just put in your email and it gives you a shopping list of the top foods, the top favorite foods from my clients and past customers that I've had, that these are their favorite blood type based foods. So that creates like a shopping list of some really good, highly recommended items for you to grab. Okay. So our final reflection, I want you to rest and recover. I want you to understand that rest and recovery are not a reward for doing the work. They are the work. And when you protect your sleep, you're protecting your cortisol, your hormones, and everything else in your reset. So tonight, let's close the kitchen 2 hours early. Let's brew your blood type specific tea and let go. And then next week, we go even deeper into what cortisol has been doing in your estrogen and progesterone, okay? And you are not going to want to miss that one. I can promise you that. Nor or any of the Abstract Blood Type Wellness podcast episodes, because they're all just nuggets of great information that you can apply immediately. So the sleep cortisol loop is real, guys. And now you have the tools to interrupt it starting tonight. And before you go, if today's episode has supported you in any way, I want you to please be sure to subscribe to the Abstract Blood Type Wellness podcast wherever you get your podcasts, so you never miss a grounded, practical wellness conversation with me. And if you're ready to go even deeper, I implore you to visit acrtofood.com and start with our free culinary health assessment for you to fill out right there and set up an appointment to talk with me for your free consult, and available also right on your homepage to complete. Now, from there, you can further explore our 14-day culinary cortisol reset, and that's at acrtofood.com/culinary-cortisol-reset. Blood type wellness one-on-one starter kits, our wellness coaching memberships, our custom meal plans and healing tea blends, and of course our 7 deliciously healing wellness ebooks and e-cookbooks, and of course our flagship product that started it all, our heart healthy small batched Abstract Spice Gold seasoning blends that make healthy taste oh so good. So remember, again, longevity begins with honoring your biology. And until next time, that's great eats and healthy living.